Howdy, I'm Ben from Aggressive Elevator Music, and I want to talk today about my Peters pitch switch benders that I've installed here on this Gretsch. You can see they're installed on the second and third strings from the highest. And this is a bone stock Gretsch lap steel from like 2 years ago. So it's a G5700 series. Now I want to talk really quick about the benders. I think they are excellent, and they do exactly what they say they're going to do. They are well made up in Muncie, Indiana. You can buy them off of Reverb. I have them set up to basically mimic A and B pedals off of a pedal steel. So this is E tuning. It's just run-of-the-mill EBE kind of tuning. Then I've got my third raised to a fourth and my fifth raised to a sixth. So if you can play pedal steel or you know about pedal steel, a lot of the same tricks kind of work here. And they're excellent. They're extremely stable. They have little screws down here to adjust how far the benders bend, if you will. And I'm able to, tune them on the fly. I've gigged with this instrument, and I have to say, now that that's kind of out of the way, I do stand behind this product in the sense that it is well made. If you want benders, these are the Shorty benders, by the way. They fit just perfectly here on this Gretsch. If you want benders for the price, I'm not sure these can be beat. That being said, I do not enjoy gigging with benders. It's difficult to explain. It feels like, so for me, playing lap steel is a very connected experience. It's more like playing it's more like playing an electric guitar in kind of like a lead position. And that's how I think about the instrument. I also think about it a lot in the sense of rhythm. I play a lot of backup when I'm playing lap steel versus when I'm playing fills and stuff on pedal steel. And to do that, I really need this palm mute position. Like, it's really important to me to be able to kind of do those kind of bouncing bass line. And to kind of get those more palm muted stuff, like if I'm playing, like, say if I'm trying to do like a ZZ Top lick or something, where it's like... And doing that with these benders, kind of inhibiting my ability to get in here and palm mute, especially in the lower strings, I find really kind of throws me off of my groove. And it really limits me a lot more than the benders allow me to do stuff. That being said, I feel like when I'm playing pedal steel, like on this MSA right here, I find that I'm thinking more like a keyboard player when I'm out on the gig. I'm thinking about kind of like little fills here and there. I'm thinking about chords and voice leading and how I'm kind of moving from chord to chord in the song. Whereas this lap steel, I find, is a little bit more of a rhythmic or melodic instrument and less of a less of like a chord-focused instrument, if that makes any sense. So whenever I have the benders, yes, I can play pedal steel style licks, but I find that it's not as effective as just playing pedal steel, and that if I'm at a gig that requires that kind of stuff out of me, I should probably just play pedal steel, and it gets in the way enough that inhibits me from doing lap steel stuff well. So the benders to me are weird middle ground, because the cost of buying this lap steel plus the cost of the benders is actually how much I paid for this pedal steel. I only paid $650 for this pedal steel, and no, I didn't buy it in like 1995 when I was 4. I bought it this year on Reverb from someone down in Florida, and I got it for $650. It did have to be reset up, but the point here is that for the price of doing this, if cost is the thing that's inhibiting you from playing pedal steel, that the cost of doing what I've done here is, because this is what these are like $400 or $500, or like I think they're $399 or $450 or something, and then the benders are another like $150 on top of that. That's got you most of the way to exactly what I paid for this. And so the argument can be made that maybe the money would be better spent on just buying a pedal steel, because pedal steel, I can do all my little palm muting stuff. I have more control. This is only a 1 knee lever 3 pedal steel. It's by no means complicated. It's kind of more beginner focused. But that's a lot more variability than just 2 levers. I also find that when I'm playing the levers, it's harder to do palm blocking, which, all of us pedal steel or lap steel players know is super important. That control is like the defining sound of the instrument, in my opinion, aside from, the SpongeBob stuff. I don't know. In conclusion, if you're thinking about buying benders and you have a lap steel similar to this one and you're considering benders, please, these benders are good. They're good, and your mileage may vary. Maybe you're a different player than me. In fact, I know you're a different player than me, unless this is some weird alternate universe stuff. Consider these. These are good. They're easy to install, relatively. As long as you're very steady with your drill and you're able to make the precise drills and you follow the directions exceptionally well, you won't have any problems. You really don't need a roller bridge. I've probably put about 50 hours into these strings and I haven't had any issues. The other thing to consider is that, so I buy all my strings off of StringJoy, and what I do is I put in my scale length on their little custom calculator, and I try to get all of my strings to about 28 pounds. So it's a little bit more slack than you'd expect like a dobro to be, but it's enough tension to you get your kind of sustain. Now, one thing to note, that because the benders are going to be adding pressure, is I calculate the tension of the bender at its furthest point. So instead of calculating it for the string length of B, I calculate it up to C sharp. So that's 28 pounds now. And then for when I'm raising my third to a fourth, I make sure that's 28 pounds. So I end up buying strings that are a little bit more slack. They're like at 25 foot-pounds or so when the benders aren't in. So your mileage may vary. I find that I don't need the roller bridge. Like I said, I put a bunch of hours on these, and because I really want to like it. I see some lap steel players on YouTube that I respect, gigging with Duesenbergs and stuff, and they really make it work. It takes me out of the instrument. So yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. And if you're interested in seeing more content where I go on rants about obscure instruments that barely anyone plays, feel free to subscribe. And if you have a question, feel free to ask it.